Well, hello people, and welcome back to part 48 of Egginburgh, our Cities Skylines 2 series. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I've just been enjoying the views to downtown Bourbon from our French quarter. And it feels like the game is slightly brighter these days. There's been an update this week, which has changed a whole bunch of things. You can find the full patch notes on the Steam, which is mainly kind of bug and simulation fixes. So if you're having issues before, maybe it is fixed now, but yeah, things seem brighter for some reason. I don't know why. I haven't changed anything. But it's looking nice anyway. I'm really happy with Egginburgh. And today we're going to carry on building out the industrial side of our UK bit with a car factory plant, which should look really cool. There's a nice little area for it immediately in this section. So let's get these trees cleared up. First of all, let's have a road enter into our car factory plant. And I think we'll go with something with a median would be quite welcome. And let's do 4-lane divided, but we won't stick with 4-lane throughout the whole complex. So let's turn off our zoning silence here, and we'll line up right in the middle. Zoning silence back on where we come up to draw. We'll come with 128. And then straight away, we're going to have grass median with some trees coming down there too. Super. So next asset, of course, possibly the most important, is going to be the vehicle factory, which is a really nice building. So the front of it with the road connection is just at the front there. So let's just place it down here. So a super nice asset. We're going to have the Ovatsu, cars for the future. So we've got, I guess we've got like an AV factory here then, or yeah, EV rather, sorry. Produce now electric vehicles. What a beautiful asset, right? I really like the CS2 car factory. I think it's probably better than the CS1 car factory is, which is already a really nice asset. But this is really cool, right? This is essentially our Tesla Giga factory, pretty much. So I'm going to want this over here in the corner. I think I want this to occupy a really kind of nice, obvious space next to the highway here. I think I'm just going to budge some of these power lines along. I think we're okay there. I do want the power lines to remain part of the area. They were an aesthetic I wanted alongside the highway. Already, we can just see from this big interchange that that's going to just serve as a really impressive kind of factory complex, isn't it? So let's bring the factory a touch closer up toward the road here. So it sits right against that highway there. Perfect viewpoint that, isn't it? Isn't that wonderful? Really cool that. Looks like there's a slight bump in the road here. Let's see if we can bring some of those nodes down toward the same height. Make it a bit more uniform. The highway is slightly recessed into the ground here, isn't it? Which I quite like. Super. So let's give our factory a road. And then we can think about how we're going to bring this into the wider complex. So we're going to use a few factories here today. Let's do another roundabout. Let's do maybe one of the mosaics, so we can pretend maybe it's like the EV logo. Which I think the red one is kind of similar, right? To the Ovatsu car company. So we can pretend that's kind of all part of the same deal, right? Let's line up with the middle. Send that one up to that road. Then we can span several things out of this kind of arrivals roundabout now. I think we'll build a bit of a security booth around here too. Superb. You will have power. We just need to bring the upgrades onto these highway roads, of course. Let's give them more lighting. Super. So it has power and sewage now, which is fantastic. So this asset does have some shipping containers on it. I think it might be quite cool if we could add in a cargo train station into the mix here. Let's throw it down. So I think this will really expand the footprint of the complex. So in terms of positioning, I think probably here, you know. And then I think with some of the space we have here, we can do loads and loads of car props mass lined up as if they're ready to be exported straight from the factory. But let's line up those fences. I think we'll go with that positioning, right? But again, just because of how cool and big and bulky these CS industrial assets are, it's going to function as part of that kind of facility expansion, isn't it? Yeah, the rail line here is incredibly important. I don't want to neglect this. So with these, let's grab any and all nodes. I'm going to raise them up a little bit. Not too far though. Just enough. So we can turn them into a bridge. So let's grab this highway road. And we want to force this to elevation with an upgrade. And then let's have it, where's our line? It's really just that segment we need, but it's fine, we can do both. We'll refine it likely in the time lapse. And then let's grab our double train tracks. So it's just single here, isn't it? I think we'll do two-way then. And then I don't want to force to track there or force to elevation. So we'll just have this one cargo line that comes out of the city. So that one's still a little bit low. So let's bring it up again. Again, we'll smoothen it all out when we know we're happy with the final configuration. That should be fine right there. And then let's have this curve off this kind of direction. And then same thing again with the highway here. And this is already in band because it goes uphill to the outside connection. So let's just force upgrade all this into bridges. With our topography lines are now kind of dug out two little gullies in the valley that I want the train track to follow. In terms of how we're going to do the different directionality here, this train line's already insane. But I will try and keep the train police happy. So that one go down into there. And then with this one, I was thinking maybe we could go this sort of direction. That's a 4.5% gradient increase. It's very steep. Train, please. will not approve of that, of course. So let's do some extra slope work here. We'll send this one off to do something like this, I think. Cool. I really do enjoy these kind of grander infrastructure projects in CS2. Superb. Wonderful. If you're wondering why this is so steep, by the way, it's just because of the how high the edge of the map is out here. It's really high up. I suppose we could always relocate this outside connection at some point. Maybe actually bring it alongside the highway to flow out. Maybe we'll have a look at that at some point. But either way, that does give cargo directionality. It's this hub over here, which is very, very cool indeed. Let's bring back road connections now for the rest of the factory. We'll send that one down there. Cool. So yeah, the other factories I wanted in here, it was going to be Farmer. Let's get this one down and we'll see what we think. And then we've also got the dairy house as well. The paper factory, I think, is kind of real dirty industry. This wouldn't look right next to an electric car factory, I don't think. And then we also have the dairy house, which isn't suited for here either. But I think Farmer very much is. It's a much more modern building. Definitely looks like an extension to the car factory here, doesn't it, I think? I'll be quite happy with that. Right, cool. So let's find a place for this. I think I'm also going to copy the same colour scheme, but we can keep on brand, of course. So let's have this one come over. And positioning from these dual carriage roads is going to be quite important too. Don't mind that though. I think I'd like some larger car parking facility around here as well. Lots of car parking for these kind of things is quite an important aesthetic to factor in. So we haven't used the gravel, definitely not around here though. We could just do a simple very large parking lot. What's the size down from this? Just large. I think we'll go for very large in that case then. So let's grab these, we'll position them on this road here. And then we'll align this up with this road here. We're also starting to get a few lumps and bumps around the place now, so let's do a big mass marquee. Everyone to the same height as the nodes around here. And then we can just fix any terrain issues that arrive from doing that. And then let's bring our road out this way. Pretty much up until there. We can probably add another connection into the roundabout there too. And then our final factory can tuck in just about there, I think. It should look really cool. We'll sort out any height weirdness that arises. Actually, wouldn't mind pushing that bottom layer up to the road. That way we can make the factory look as though it is a little kind of recessed against the extra networks here. We're also getting some people arrive here. You guys were coming to work. Ah, wonderful. But already that looks like such a huge facility, doesn't it? I really like that. Great with all that skyline behind it as well. That unemployment's still coming down. We're up to 33.7 now, too, which is quite good. So I would like to include some normal industrial zoning here as part of our design. Yeah, so if I can bring you not to alleyway road here, I think actually. Just bring some smaller alleyway structure in. And then just some smaller zoning. Just to try and keep balancing the production change with whatever it wants to produce. We can plop, of course, but I'd rather the simulation decide if we can help it. Any height weirdness, let's bring them down. Cool. So, I'm liking this at the minute. It's really starting to look the part. In terms of other larger buildings here, we could have a look at Post, which might be quite nice. We've also got the Japanese sorting facility. Alongside the server farm, which might look quite tasty. No one over here has... Yeah, I mean, communications is pretty terrible in Egginburgh, isn't it? Let's have a look at these height maps. Isn't that weird how you can see it mirrored there? Never noticed that. Isn't that funny? On the outside of the maps there, you can see it move, where it's all mirrored. Never ever noticed that. Anyway, regardless. And my point being here is communications are terrible. So why don't we bring in a server farm? It would serve most of Egginburgh, or Yorkshire over here. Not too much over this way, but and again, there is one over there. Why are you so bad? Can we give you an upgrade? Increases coverage. And a server upgrade. Yeah, it covers it a little bit, doesn't it? It's fine there. Yeah, so server farm. Again, it's another big modern building. That would look right at home as part of our larger facility here, wouldn't it? And can we even paste the palette over? Yeah, let's have kind of the black and white server farm there, great. Yes, please. That's gonna look super cool. So I think I want this positioned sort of in and around the end of the car factory here. The railroad, sorry. Train station is the word I'm looking for. Right on the edge here. I think I'm going to better bulldoze some bushes and props away off the edge of the factory here that I don't particularly want. There we go. And hopefully I should stay connected there. I'm not averse to actually removing the fence off of that. I'm making that kind of almost look like a pathway through to the cargo section, if you like. We can pull the road down a little bit. And we can probably just delete that section there. Yeah. I think that settles in very much at home, doesn't it? I really like that. Very sweet. Do we have people working here now? Yeah, straight away. Employees. What does this actually do? Plus 10% oil deposit and plus 2% industrial efficiency. Do we also want to copy the same colour palette to our train station? Yeah, I think we will, right? Cool. So this is already looking fantastic. Exactly what I had in mind. Big chungus buildings like this that we're essentially using to, add service function to Egginburgh. We have the need for server farms, import export functionality for train stations is always welcome. Factories are always cool. We can produce jobs and get little buffs. With the train station, we could add the cargo terminal somewhere, which I would not be averse to in terms of where this goes. Do we also want extra tracks? I feel like that might be a bit overkill. I think we'll go for it though. I think we will. And then with the storage warehouse, do we just want this on the edge? I think that could be pretty decent. Let's get this new train track connected in. Should be a pretty simple hook into the line that's already there. I guess to talk about track math, do we actually want to make this section in between the two one-way splits be two-sided track? I feel like that makes more sense, doesn't it? A lot of train traffic heading out the city there. Yes, sorry, and then to return to some detailing ideas, I think I'm going to clip all of this stuff off, including the grass surface. We'll bring our own surface in here, which any kind of generic pavement space I usually end up going with at the European pavement, and we'll fill general space around the edge of this current infrastructure. Yep, something like that. And now, because we have all the vanilla car props, which are just so cool, we can line these up. So do we have an electric car prop? Don't think we do. What's the most electric looking car? I'd probably say that one, right? That is the most electric looking. There's a few choices here. Again, you can find these on Paradox Mod. You just search for vanilla car props. There's a whole pack of them. Guess maybe kind of SUVs would also be. Definitely stay up in the Mustang style things. Yeah, okay, I think we'll go with those two then. As the kind of mass car production, if you like. So let's open up our advanced line tool, and we can do wall-to-wall mode. We could, the variation is cool, but I feel like, cars at a production plant like this, they're all the same colour, aren't they? I don't think you'd get the colour variation like that in a car plant. I could be wrong there, but pretty sure from every kind of image of a car plant I've seen, it tends to be how it works. And then with the line tool, and then with that line tool now, we can just line up many, many rows of cars. Okay, we can begin to create that visual, which will be very cool by the end of it, of multiple different models, all at the foot of this kind of export infrastructure. Will hopefully give us the vibe we want, and of course at some point, when the cargo train arrives, we will actually have cargo coming and going from this, which should make it look pretty authentically like those cars are being exported. A little bit weird from the right angle, aren't they? But I'm happy with that. They are touching right at the wing mirrors as well, aren't they? They could not be any closer. Maybe a little bit more distance. Might be quite nice. And then with the better bulldozing on this, I might also be tempted to remove that fence. Really open up that courtyard between these three buildings, right? And let's bring in some more road connections from our main little roundabout here, which I am thoroughly loving, by the way. We can definitely pretend this is the logo of the car, right? Right at the entrance to its facility. I think that's absolutely fantastic. I don't know why I'm enjoying that particular aspect so much. So let's wrap up some areas here with the current road structure. I pretty much want to come in against the parking lot there. Make sure everything's nice and snug. Now, one thing I always like to include with our car factories, we did something quite similar in Orchid Bay for those that follow our CS1 vanilla content. Is a test drive track for these cars that are being produced, for which I'd like to use a bit of highway road for this. So let's bring it out from here because I want it to be parallel with this road. Let's say here, right? And then we'll do this kind of like as a big straight so we can get some straight line speed. Something like that. Let's keep our topography views on too. And then let's do some nice curves. Let's do kind of a hairpin here. And then as they head back down the straight, we'll get some nice S-bends in. Good bit of traction testing. And then it can have a real tight kind of chicane. Get back down. Let's correct that final curve there just a little bit, I think. There we go. That's more what I'm after. And then that can come back down onto the straight, which if I do say so myself, I think that would make a pretty entertaining F1 track, right? It would be a very short lap time, but either way they can test traction, braking, top line speed on that little test track, right? I think we can get away with that. To make some cars use it would be really fun. We'd have to put a building down here or something for them to actually use, which I don't mind the idea of. We could use the one-way alleyway to create essentially what I'm going to treat as a pit, right? Because that's really what it is. Not that this is a racetrack, it's definitely on the test track side of things, I think. And I guess kind of a smaller service building might be welcome here. Maybe tiny post office might be vibe. Again, I guess we're only going to get the post fans being test driven in that case. But, you know, something that would cause them to drive on this track really is the kind of the take-home point there, I think. And then in terms of a connection onto it, I think honestly just a basic alleyway connection like that I think will do. And then we can do lots of prop work around here with, you know, kind of security gates on and off the track. A bit of fencing I think will go quite a long way as well for it. And then let's just send that into there. That should give everyone what they want. Super. So we can have a test track in there as well, which look pretty fantastic. I also want to shield it from the road as well, I think. To have it quite private. But in terms of just having a wider, massive industrial production facility, I think farmer, vehicle factory, train station, and the server farm absolutely achieves that combination for us, doesn't it? I'm really happy with that. And this industry is coming in now as well. I'm not too offended by any of this. Small little industrial units is absolutely fine. We'll blend it in a little bit better, and we're down to 29.4%, 29.2% unemployment now, which is very tasty. So hopefully we can carry on bringing that down to a more sensible level. Less than 10% would be ideal. But either way, that feels like a good place for a detailing time-lapse. Tons of surface, decal and prop work to do across the whole site. Alongside some tree placement and tidying up of networks that we've messed with, like this and the highway as well. And I think let's also get some name suggestions down below for the car brand name of Egginburgh. It can't be Yokeswagon since that belongs in Orchid Bay. So, oh look, a truck is taking the test track. Isn't that perfect? That is exactly what I wanted to happen. See how he does. But he's even taken the trailer as well. Look at that, it's so funny. Brilliant, so he's collecting the post, right? Okay. Fantastic. I want to see him. I want to see him get back on. That's he reverses out as well, isn't that cute? There he goes. So we'll see our test track get a little bit of use. Hopefully not by too many more trucks. So there you go. There's a post fan using the test track now. Brilliant. That's fantastic. Either way, let's detail up Egginburgh's car factory, and then we'll be right back. Alright guys, let's have a little mooch around the Eivatsu car plant, shall we? This place turned out really nicely, and super thankful for all the branding that's available in CS2 now with the various different forms of advertising you can get. I think you'll agree that in combo with Recolor today has made a tremendous difference, just from the branding alone, right? Let's get stuck into it. So around the outside we have fencing and pathwork, which we'll come across as we mooch about the facility. In the middle here, dropped in some more car branding signage in the middle of the roundabout, which I think is very appropriate, isn't it? Super simple use of vanilla assets there. Really like that. Very cute indeed. And then just the whole facility from pretty much wherever you are looks really, really sweet. There's multiple different big buildings, kind of manufacturing centers. Super cool. Up at the front here, dropped in an office building to function as a bit of a kind of corporate HQ slash sales space, and then also built kind of a car lot yard, if you like, of fully completed vehicles here that could either just be here for show, or they might actually be a sales office here too. Why not? It also got plenty of branding around it, built kind of a custom flag with a pole and a sign, and then more branding and bollards around the base of those cars that are ready to be sold. So I thought that was a really nice combination next to the kind of corporate HQ, if you like. Again, also did a bit of recolor on this one and really highlighted the red here to kind of make it stand out a little bit. But kind of still on brand, if you like it is the head office kind of space. Where should we head? Let's head over here. So our big pharma building is in here, of course. This spills out onto a service road maintenance building over here too, which has also been recolored as well to be black, white, and red branding, which is very, very Empire, isn't it? If you know what I mean. It's very Darth Sidious kind of interior design, isn't it? I suppose, but it's fine. I like it. Down here, we just have lots of expanded surface work with record industry again to function as smaller, just satellite industry around the larger car plant, which all blends in really well, doesn't it? Recolor has certainly really tied today's build together. And then of course we come into our big car factory. We've also built a custom elevated billboard by the highway interchange here too, where we have Eivatsu Cars for the Future billboard. They're being advertised to people driving right past the plant on their way out of the city, which I absolutely adore. I think that's super cool. Highway interchange has had some extra lanes added onto it, just to allow some slip lanes to peel off in multiple different directions. There's bridges and whatnot through here, embankment, with some of the roads coming up. So a really cute interchange that is starting to attract a little bit of traffic now. Out on these rural hills, we can see a cargo train approaching. That's a very cool view from inside the factory with the cargo trains, which we'll check out. Yes, and then our big car storage over here, right next to the warehouse. And a big stored lot of unsprayed cars, if you like. You can almost pretend one of these units around here could in fact be for spraying or any kind of painting, you know. So that's really cool. We'll watch that cargo train arrive in a second. Lots of decals around here as well. Just because, you know, you imagine there's so much tire tread and trucks moving through a space like this that it would not be the cleanest or smoothest concrete in the world. Getting closer in, you will also see those cracked decals appear as well, which is cool. Also done some more stripes through here using the decals as well, and there you go. Isn't the visual of a moving train in a yard like this so cool? That's just really tied the build together. I was a bit apprehensive about whether or not to include the cargo terminal as part of it, but to have kind of what looks like train export immediately built into the car factory, it looks absolutely fantastic, doesn't it? Super, super big fan of it. Especially if we, let's see, leave here as well. Shouldn't take too long to disappear. There we go. How awesome is that? Just so cool. I really like it. I love the trains in CS2, especially the cargo trains. They just look infinitely better than the cargo trains from CS1, don't they? Like vanilla versus vanilla. Love these trains. Makes you want to play CS as like a model railroad builder, kind of. Really focus on the rail. Maybe that could be a good series. Series dedicated entirely for the train, please, perhaps one day. Yes, and more details through here. I took the fences off of those car parks out the front, and then around the back. Also added a sign to the front of our server farm, so it's obviously very clear what it is. And then around here, extended surfaces off of industry and used better bulldozers to take off a load of fences just to open all this up into kind of one continual workspace, and with some texture extension and extra prop work, I think we can make it look as though it's just kind of a natural industrial yard extension of whatever the server farm is, right? So I'm pretty happy with this here, and of course it's all helping to satisfy demands. We've got a big old spike in office demand. The city's economy has made an incredible recovery. For those interested in Edinburgh's kind of simulation vibes after the patch, the population went down to 14.6 unemployment now. That was down from 45% at the start of the episode. And we're finally getting some office demand spiking too. And then I was also looking back over some older areas of the city that had been abandoned, and we are seeing businesses back in these now. Our tax rates are as such. We're on 5,999 and we're making 1.1 million an hour, which admittedly is quite a lot. Yeah, a very rich city. But yeah, we're starting to see businesses move in now, and especially also down the high street of Yorkshire. Finally, a lot of this mixed use is filling up, which is very nice in both ends of the street, because this has been sat empty for a long time. But you know, of all the shops along here, there's only one empty lot now, so that's really good to see. The buildings that we plopped now starting to fill up as the demands come in. Now we're increasing in population too as well, of course, because we've placed so much housing that still has room to grow. There's a lot of these still have yet to have families come in. I did actually track the family in one of these. Which one was it? I think it was the Larson family. And they were driving from, well, walking from pretty much the opposite side of the city to actually get here. So I think we're just in the middle of a very slow migration process of Sims actually arriving here. So the economy is slowly recovering. It would seem, at least it's still healthy. We're still making money. But yeah, the production chains are very unbalanced, but doesn't seem to be a penalty to that. I'm just hoping we get a bit more residential demand, but I think there is just so much residential free from all the plopping that as soon as any appears, it's immediately satisfied. So we seem to be rebalancing again, at least a little bit in Egginburgh. Around the car test track, we have some gravel pits on the corners, alongside a general testing zone with general car materials, bits of scrap, spare parts, etc. Cars out here for testing, or you know, whatever it is they want to do. And then kind of a more sort of, you know, administrative building in the form of the post office. Again, which included within industry, doesn't really look too much like a post office anyway, does it? And gives us a bit of functional parking alongside more car storage, a watchtower, and some industrial vehicles over here to complete the racetrack. And we also have more of that over here too, and then alongside a little access pathway to a stand here for perhaps any executives or engineers that want to sit and watch the cars with comfort away from the pit lane. Then they can. This build has also inspired me maybe to build a racetrack. I think Egginburgh would be deserving of one, right? The city is pretty big now. But yeah, that was a fun little project to build. But I absolutely love the AI Vatsu car plant. Super cool build. Turned out much better than I anticipated, with a lot of use of those really fun CS2 kind of detailing aspects with the billboards and a bit of recolor. Really just takes the build to that next level. It's a ton of fun playing with stuff like this in CS2. The vanilla offerings are so much just better than that of what the CS1's kind of official base game offering of props and stuff is, and you know, those light quality life mods just make this game so much more enjoyable. The patch doesn't really seem to have done too much to Egginburgh. You know, this city has survived kind of multiple patches now. It's definitely a more simulation focused patch, but you know, Edinburgh's still making vast amounts of money with very low taxes, and we're still managing to populate most buildings that we place as well. But another unique factory ticked off here today as well. Massive shout out to all the patrons that support the channel, with a roll call to our golden eggs: Andrew Perez, Louis Adlam, Oh Hey Casino, Phoenix MD, and Bad Wolfo. You're all legends, guys. Thank you for your support. going to get involved in that. And join our Instant Gaming giveaway. Links to both of those are down below. And you can win a free game courtesy of Instant Gaming as well. Otherwise, please do enjoy some cinematics of today's Egginburgh editions. I'll shut up and leave it there. And thank you all so much for watching. And as always, enjoy the rest of your day.